In the last week of my life, my wife Liu Ruyan's first love returned to China, and he did not come back all night. The next day I received a call from him. I drafted a divorce agreement and went home to sign it. I coughed twice and replied that I was in the hospital. His voice was cold. I didn't care where you were. Even if you were going to die, you had to come back to sign. I answered calmly, but he didn't know that I was really going to die. Later, he wore a white wedding dress, lay on my tombstone and broke down and cried. That day was his wedding ceremony with his first love, and also my funeral. The doctor asked me to stay in the hospital for observation, but I refused. I knew my body better than the doctor. My life has entered a countdown, and there is no possibility of starting over. I don't want to spend the last days in the hospital. When I got home, Liu Ruyan sat on the sofa and looked at me with indifferent eyes. Aren't you in the hospital? I see you are in good spirits. I took a deep breath, walked to the opposite side of him and said in a hoarse voice, "Where are the divorce agreements?" Liu Ruyan frowned, and her tone became even colder. "Where have you been fooling around? You look half dead." I didn't answer his question and asked him to take out the divorce agreement again, because I realized that I was about to give up. I didn't want to show weakness in front of him, and I didn't want to faint in front of him. "Forget it, do you think I really care about you?" Liu Ruyan snorted angrily and slapped the divorce agreement on the table. "Sign it." I didn't look at the divorce agreement in front of me but stared at Liu Ruyan. "This is my last gift to you." I picked up the pen and wrote my name on the divorce agreement stroke by stroke. The moment I put down the pen, I seemed to have exhausted all my strength and collapsed on the table. Liu Ruyan was stunned, sneered, "Stop pretending. Do you think I will change my mind if you pretend to be pitiful? If you hadn't used the family name to force my parents to force me to marry you, I would have married Jiboda and had a happy life. You have been very good to me in the past few years, but you owe me that." I pulled the corners of my mouth reluctantly. "So you have been blaming me. If I die, will you forgive me?" "Wait until you die." Liu Ruyan put away the divorce agreement and turned away. I watched her leave without hesitation. My heart twitched violently, and darkness enveloped my eyes. I woke up in the hospital, accompanied by Ningbing. She is Liu Ruyan's best friend and my good friend. He is also the matchmaker between me and Liu Ruyan. It was because of his introduction that Liu Ruyan and I were able to meet. Unfortunately, Liu Ruyan and I did not love each other and walk through life hand in hand as he wished. Seeing me wake up, Ningbing hurriedly asked how I felt. His eyes were full of concern. My heart warmed and I smiled and said it was okay. I was just too tired recently. His eyes were red in an instant. "How long are you going to hide it from me?" the doctor told me. I fell silent. Ningbing asked Ruyan if she knew. I shook my head. Why not tell him? He should know. "I will tell him right away." Ningbing took out his mobile phone. I stopped him. "There is no need. If it were yesterday, I might not have stopped Ningbing before. But the scenes that happened yesterday, every word of Liu Ruyan, still make me heartbroken. I am afraid that if he knows that I am dying, he will stand in front of me and say bitterly, 'Why you don't die earlier? The happiness that Jiboda and I should have had was ruined by you.' If that happens, I will collapse. Why don't you tell him if he still misunderstands you because of what happened that year? I will explain to him." I stopped Ningbing again and waved my hand, saying, "No, the truth of that year will be buried with my death." Liu Ruyan thought that I put pressure on his parents and forced him not to go abroad to find Jiboda and stay in China to marry me. But the truth is that Liu Ruyan's parents did not agree with him and Jiboda being together. They took the initiative to find me and asked me to play a play with them. Of course I was willing to do it because I loved Liu Ruyan, thinking that after a long time, he would forget Jiboda, and then tell him the truth bit by bit. As a result, my warmth could not warm his cold heart. After a few years of getting along, he and I were nominally husband and wife. In fact, he always regarded me as an enemy and thought that I was the one who interfered and destroyed his and Jiboda's happiness. Rather than telling him the truth and making him hate his parents, I'd rather be the bad guy. Let him keep hating me, I'm going to die anyway. Liu Ruyan called and said, "I'm waiting for you at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau." Listening to his cold voice, I calmly replied, "Okay." After I hung up the phone, Ningbing arrived and said, "I'll go with you." I subconsciously wanted to refuse. Before I could say anything, Ningbing said, "I won't tell Ruyan, I'm just worried about you." I didn't refuse again and nodded in agreement. Liu Ruyan was not alone. She was waiting for me at the door of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Jiboda was standing next to her. Jiboda looked the same as he did a few years ago. He seemed particularly happy today, with a smile on his face that he could not hide. Liu Ruyan was very surprised to see Ningbing and me coming together. "Bingbing, why are you here too?" Ningbing had a blank expression. "Ruyan, do you have to divorce Fang Yuan?" Liu Ruyan sneered at me. "Fang Yuan, you asked Xiaobing to be a lobbyist." Before I could speak, Ningbing answered first. "It was not Fang Yuan who asked me to come. I came here on my own. Ruyan, I advise you to think it over carefully. Fang Yuan loves you very much, more than your parents. You should have felt it over the years." Liu Ruyan frowned but did not refute. Jiboda stepped forward and stood in front of Liu Ruyan. Smiling, he said to Ningbing, Fang Yuan does love Ruyan very much, but love is mutual. Ruyan does not love him. She has always loved me, and I believe that my love for Ruyan is no less than his. Bai Ningbing showed sarcasm on his face. You also have the nerve to say this? When who was it that ruthlessly abandoned Ruyan in order to go abroad? I didn't see it at all. You love Ruyan, but you only love yourself. Ji Boda had an ugly face and Liu Ruyan frowned. There is no need to talk about what happened to Bingbing back then. Ji Boda was also forced to do so. He didn't want to abandon me. It was Fang Yuan who forced my parents not to let me go abroad and asked me to marry him. You know all this very well. Everything is Fang Yuan's fault. What happened back then was actually my fault. Interrupting Bai Ningbing, looking at Liu Ruyan calmly, you are right, everything is my fault, so let's not argue about it anymore. Let's go in and get a divorce. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing stopped me and wanted to say something, but I shook my head at him. There was no need to explain. Liu Ruyan didn't love me at all. Liu Ruyan and I came out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Ji Boda ran to Liu Ruyan happily. Ruyan, you are finally divorced, we can finally be together. Unexpectedly, Liu Ruyan did not respond. She just stared at the divorce certificate in her hand. Did he regret it? He thought about it and shook his head. How is it possible? Divorcing me has always been his wish. Bai Ningbing said to Ruyan, it's not too late for you to regret now. Ji Boda glared at Bai Ningbing. Why would Ruyan regret it? He didn't love Fang Yuan at all. Only by marrying me would he be happy. Bai Ningbing sneered. What can you give her happiness? You have accomplished nothing now. Ji Boda glanced at Liu Ruyan guiltily and forcefully explained that happiness is not necessarily material. I can give Ruyan spiritually. If you are rich, you will only have this mouth. Bai Ningbing was disdainful. I know Bai Ningbing wanted to persuade Liu Ruyan to change her mind, but I have been married for several years, and I have been open-hearted to Liu Ruyan and cared about her, but it didn't warm his heart. How could he be shaken by a few words from Bai Ningbing? Besides, Liu Ruyan and I have already divorced, and I don't want to continue to entangle with him. Bingbing, let's go. Bai Ningbing looked at me, sighed and said to Liu Ruyan, Bingbing, think about what I said carefully. Don't wait until you really lose her, it was too late to regret. Liu Ruyan said calmly, don't think about it. I won't regret it because I don't love him at all. His last words were to me. My heart ached suddenly, but Liu Ruyan didn't look at me again. She drove away with Ji Boda. I felt breathless and covered my mouth and coughed violently. Warm liquid flowed through my fingers and reflected in my eyes, which were blood red. I opened my eyes and saw Bai Ningbing kneeling on the ground crying. I wanted to go over to comfort her, but when I moved, I found that my body was light, and the hand that patted her shoulder passed through without any hindrance. I was stunned, and with a glance I saw my body on the hospital bed. Turned out that I was dead. I maintained the form of a soul and followed Bai Ningbing, watching him collect my body, notify my family and friends to keep vigil for me, and arrange the funeral. Although everything has a fixed process, his weight loss is visible to the naked eye. In just a few days he lost a lot of weight. 3 days before the funeral, he looked at my ashes and murmured to me, I don't knowing whether I should inform Ruyan, can you give me an answer? Of course I can't give him an answer, but I hope he won't inform Liu Ruyan, because I'm afraid that Liu Ruyan will applaud when she learns of my death. As long as I can't see it, I can still deceive myself. The phone next to me rang and I took a look. It was Liu Ruyan calling. Bai Ningbing had been staring at my urn without looking away. He reached out and took the phone to answer it. Bingbing, Ji Boda and I will have our wedding in 3 days. I'll send you the location later. Don't forget to attend. I felt suffocated for a moment. I didn't expect that people would still have feelings after they died. Bai Ningbing's face changed. Why did you choose that day? Liu Ruyan's voice was puzzled. Is there any problem? No, there is no problem. I will attend on time. After hanging up the phone, Bai Ningbing said to my urn, Fang Yuan, did you hear that? He and Ji Boda's wedding was chosen on that day, but that day was your funeral. Yes, that day was my funeral, but Liu Ruyan and I are divorced. It is his freedom to choose the day to marry Ji Boda. I can't change anything. 3 days later, Bai Ningbing changed into a black suit, put on a black gauze hat, and went out expressionlessly. I wanted to stop him from going, but I couldn't. I could only float beside him and follow him into the wedding venue. Seeing Bai Ningbing's dress, all the guests in the venue were shocked. Liu Ruyan greeted her in a white wedding dress with a very bad look on her face. Bingbing, why are you dressed like this? This joke is a bit too much. I'm not kidding you. After attending your wedding, I have to rush to Fang Yuan's funeral. I don't have time to go back to change clothes. Liu Ruyan was stunned for a moment, frowned and said, Fang Yuan's funeral, Bingbing, what are you talking about? I know. Did Fang Yuan ask you to dress like this? Where is he? Let him come and mess up my wedding. Is it interesting? Liu Ruyan became more and more angry. Bai Ningbing shook his head. He can't come. Why can't he come? I'll call him now. Liu Ruyan took out her cell phone. Ji Boda came over. What happened to Ruyan? Frowned and looked at Bai Ningbing. She is your bestie. Why is she dressed like this? Liu Ruyan looked apologetic. Sorry, she just wanted to play a joke on me. It's just a little too much. I've already talked about him. Ji Boda snorted. You have to choose the right occasion for a joke. Since you've already talked about him, I won't say anything. The wedding is about to start. I'll go over first. Okay, Liu Ruyan watched Ji Boda leave. Turned to face Bai Ningbing. I don't know what Fang Yuan's plan is, but you tell him that no matter what he wants to do, he won't succeed. Is your prejudice against Fang Yuan so great? Bai Ningbing looked at Liu Ruyan with a strange look. He has passed away. Today is his funeral. Do you think I would joke about this kind of thing? You won't, but he would. He could force my parents to let me marry him back then. What else can't he do? Want me to believe that he is dead? Except I saw his body with my own eyes. It turned out to be because of what happened that year. Bai Ningbing smiled bitterly. Forget it. I have said what I should say. Believe it or not, Liu Ruyan's expression was uncertain. The master of ceremonies shouted at this time. Let's applaud and invite her. The bride Liu Ruyan looked at Bai Ningbing, hesitant to say something, finally said nothing, turned and left. His figure in a white wedding dress was deeply reflected in my eyes, just like the way she looked when she married me that year. Just like that year, Bai Ningbing murmured, but after all, things have changed, Fang Yuan. If I hadn't introduced you to him that year it would have been great. It's not your fault. I stood beside Bai Ningbing silently comforting him, but unfortunately he couldn't hear. The wedding process went on one by one. Liu Ruyan and Ji Boda exchanged rings with each other, shouting wantonly, a pair of rings, accompany each other for the rest of their lives. Let us give the warmest applause to this happy couple. All the guests had smiles on their faces, clapping hard. Bai Ningbing slowly stood up amid thunderous applause. Fang Yuan, I should go, otherwise you will miss your funeral. Wait a minute. It was Liu Ruyan who spoke. Bai Ningbing paused. I turned around and saw Ji Boda, who was about to kiss Liu Ruyan, was stunned for a moment. He smiled gently and said, Ruyan, what's wrong? Liu Ruyan looked apologetic. I'm sorry, Ji Boda. I have something very important now that I must confirm in person. Ji Boda's face became extremely ugly for a moment, but he didn't get angry. He still smiled gently. What's the matter? Do you need me to go with you? No, I'll be back soon. Liu Ruyan turned around and ran towards Bai Ningbing with the hem of her wedding dress in both hands. I'll go to Fang Yuan's funeral with you to see if he is really dead. He obviously still didn't believe it. If I am really dead, Bai Ningbing looked at him deeply. I'll follow you. Bai Ningbing floated out the door and looked back. What came into his eyes was Ji Boda's gloomy face and the astonished expressions of all the guests. My funeral will be held in Shishan Cemetery. My parents and relatives and friends all have sad faces. You still have the nerve to come and see Liu Ruyan. Yan, a friend, rushed forward angrily, but was stopped by Ningbing. With every step Liu Ruyan took, her face became paler, until she saw my tombstone and stumbled. No, this is not true. Where is Fang Yuan? Let him out quickly. His performance surprised me. I thought he would applaud my death. After all, he has always regarded me as an enemy. My mother rushed to him, grabbed his arm tightly and cried heartbreakingly. It was you who killed my son. Give me back my son's life. Calm down. My father pulled my mother behind him and looked at Liu Ruyan with a sullen face. If you are here to attend Fang Yuan's funeral, I welcome you. If you are wearing a wedding dress to show off, please leave immediately. Liu Ruyan knelt down on the ground dejectedly, her face ashen. How could he die? How could he die? If he didn't believe it, Liu Ruyan rushed to my grave and dug with her hands like crazy. I don't believe he is dead. You are lying to me. You are all in cahoots with him. My father was shocked and angry. Stop him quickly. Several of my friends immediately rushed forward, but none of them were as fast as Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing pulled Liu Ruyan away from my grave, yelling, Have you had enough? When he was alive, you regarded him as your enemy, and now you want to dig up his grave after he died. Do you hate him so much? I'm not. Liu Ruyan collapsed on the ground, muttering to himself. Looking at his embarrassed appearance, I didn't feel happy, but only disappointed. It turned out that he still cared about me a little in his heart. It turned out that he would be sad about my death. Ruyan Ji Boda came running, with the groom's boutonniere on his chest. After helping Liu Ruyan up from the ground, he turned around and glared at Bai Ningbing. You've gone too far. Ruyan just wanted to confirm whether Fang Yuan was really dead. Why do you blame him? Bai Ningbing was so angry that she laughed. Do you still need to confirm? Do you think we are playing house with so many people gathered together? My friends all looked at Ji Boda unkindly. Even so, why do you blame Ruyan for Fang Yuan's death? Ruyan has married me. She is mine now. Wife, it has nothing to do with Fang Yuan. Ruyan is not to blame for Fang Yuan's death. Ji Boda shouted. My mother was shaking with anger, and my father's face turned blue with anger. Bai Ningbing took a deep breath and looked at Ji Boda with a gaze as cold as a knife. You are right. Fang Yuan has nothing to do with you anymore, so please leave immediately. Get out of here. You are not welcome here. Go back and continue your wedding. It's Fang Yuan's fault that he was blind and loved the wrong person. He ran to Fang Yuan's funeral in a wedding dress. Do you want Fang Yuan to die with regrets? How has Fang Yuan done anything wrong to you that you are so cruel? Several of my friends were merciless. Liu Ruyan's face was pale and she clutched the wedding dress tightly with both hands. You don't need to tell me, we will go too. Ruyan, let's go. Ji Boda snorted and grabbed Liu Ruyan's hand and was about to leave. Liu Ruyan broke free from his hand and said, Go, I want to stay. Ji Boda couldn't believe it. Bai Ningbing said calmly, Ruyan, you still go. Why is he dead? I just want to send him the best gift. The last journey, can't this little wish satisfy me? Liu Ruyan screamed hysterically, staring at Bai Ningbing with bloodshot eyes. Bai Ningbing was unmoved, and gave the reason in a flat tone, because Fang Yuan might not want to see you. Liu Ruyan was stunned where she was, and left in a daze for a long time. Ji Boda glared at Bai Ningbing fiercely, turned around and chased Liu Ruyan. It's finally over. I looked at Liu Ruyan's back. I will never see her again. My parents walked to Bai Ningbing. It's a good thing you are here, otherwise Fang Yuan would not have left peacefully today. Bai Ningbing smiled reluctantly. It's what I should do. My funeral is over. My parents deliberately kept Bai Ningbing. Bing. Fang Yuan is gone. We have no intention of running the company, so we want to hand it over to you to manage. Bai Ningbing was shocked and hurriedly refused. I can't do it. I know nothing about managing a company. I can't do anything. My dad smiled, and no one is born knowing everything. You are Fang Yuan's best friend. Fang Yuan trusts you. We believe you, and managing a company does not require you to do everything yourself. You only need to grasp the general direction. I believe you will not let us down, nor will you let Fang Yuan down. Bai Ningbing looked at my tombstone and gritted his teeth and said, Okay, I agree. I fully agree with my parents handing over the company to Bai Ningbing for management. Although Bai Ningbing has never managed a company, He has sufficient work experience and excellent learning ability. I believe there will be no problem with him managing the company. Bai Ningbing first sent my parents home, and then went to the library. I watched him buy many management books and went home with a box full of books. What I didn't expect was that Liu Ruyan was waiting at the door of his house. Liu Ruyan's eyes were red and swollen, and she had obviously cried hard. Bai Ningbing didn't seem surprised at his arrival at all and asked, "Just you and me?" Bai Ningbing laughed. "Tonight is your and Jiboda's wedding night. It's incredible that he would agree to let you come." Liu Ruyan looked at Bai Ningbing said in a deep voice, "My wedding with him has not been completed, so I and he are not yet a real couple." I was surprised by Liu Ruyan's answer. Her greatest wish was to marry Jiboda and become a real couple. She actually said such a thing. Bai Ningbing was also surprised but did not say anything. She just opened the door and asked Liu Ruyan to come in and have a drink. "No, you should know why I came. Tell me how Feng Yuan died," Bai Ningbing asked back. "Is it important?" "Of course it is important. After all, I was once a couple with him and have the right to know." After listening to Liu Ruyan's words, I just found it ridiculous. Apart from the marriage certificate, has he ever considered himself my wife? Bai Ningbing was merciless and poked Liu Ruyan in the heart. "From marriage to divorce, have you ever considered yourself Feng Yuan's wife?" Liu Ruyan turned pale and was speechless. Bai Ningbing let out a long breath. "Go away. Feng Yuan has passed away. There is no need to dwell on the cause of his death. Besides, you are Jiboda's wife now. Pay attention to your identity." "I don't want to. He came to trouble me. I just wanted to know if Feng Yuan had any last words." Liu Ruyan shed tears. Bai Ningbing spoke word by word. He said that if there was a next life, he would not marry you again. Liu Ruyan was struck by lightning and staggered back. Bai Ningbing did not move. He watched Liu Ruyan disappear calmly. The moment he closed the door, he murmured to himself, "Feng Yuan, you won't blame me for being so cruel to him, will you?" "Of course not." I put my hand on Bai Ningbing's shoulder. "You are my best friend, and he has nothing to do with me anymore." If it wasn't for Bai Ningbing's introduction, I wouldn't have met Liu Ruyan. I still remember the day I met Liu Ruyan. She was wearing a purple dress. The breeze blew and her skirt fluttered. That touch of purple was deeply reflected in my heart. Because of Bai Ningbing, I met him often. He always said how happy his love with Jiboda was, and imagined a sweet life after marriage. I felt very uncomfortable when I heard it. Later, Jiboda went abroad. He burst into tears, and Bai Ningbing and I comforted him. In fact, I was happy at that time because the biggest obstacle between him and me was gone, but I didn't expect that he would want to go abroad to find Jiboda. Although I was heartbroken, I didn't bother him too much. I chose to let go and silently wished him happiness. The day before he went abroad, his parents found me and begged me to act out a play. They were reluctant to let Liu Ruyan go abroad and thought that Jiboda could not give Liu Ruyan happiness. I struggled all night and finally agreed to marry Liu Ruyan. Out of guilt, I tried my best to meet all his requirements, but he kept sneering at me saying, "Marrying a woman who doesn't love you at all, are you cheap? You thought I would forgive you if you were nice to me. You're dreaming." Every time I see you I felt sick and my friends all advised me to divorce him, but I just smiled. Since I was already married to him, I would not let go. I fantasized that one day he would accept me, fall in love with me, and live a sweet and happy life for the rest of his life. But Jiboda's return home shattered my dream. My terminally ill body became the last straw that broke the camel's back. I chose to let go because my body, which was getting worse day by day, and my tired heart did not allow me to struggle anymore. But why did he come to struggle again? I knew he had always regarded me as an enemy. Shouldn't he be happy about my death? I just hoped not to see him again and enter reincarnation earlier. That night Bai Ningbing packed her luggage and moved to the company. I had an independent lounge on the top floor of the company, and the balcony was filled with large and small things. Liu Ruyan once said that he likes succulents. In order to please him, I bought a lot of succulents. In the past, I took care of these succulents by myself. Except Liu Ruyan, no one was allowed to touch them. Bai Ningbing stood in front of these succulents and murmured in a low voice, "Feng Yuan, in fact my favorite is also succulents." I was stunned and stared at Bai Ningbing's profile. Only then did I realize that because of Liu Ruyan, I missed the most beautiful scenery that year. The first thing Bai Ningbing did when he took office was to convene a board of directors. All the directors attending the meeting looked uneasy. I understand their feelings very well. Anyone who knows that the company has changed the person in charge, and it is a rookie without any management experience, will be uneasy. Today is the first time for me and all of you. It's the first time we meet, and we will meet many times in the future. All the directors are seniors and are more familiar with the company than I am. I hope you can correct me in my future work. Bai Ningbing kept a low profile, and I nodded secretly. After all, he is a new official and is in an unfamiliar field. It is necessary to keep a low profile. The directors attending the meeting also breathed a sigh of relief. Bai Ningbing did not make major personnel adjustments to the company, and the company's development plan continued to the current one. In the future, I will work hard with all the directors, and I hope that the company will develop better and better. After the board meeting, I was very pleased with Bai Ningbing's performance. He did not disappoint me, nor did he disappoint my parents. I followed Bai Ningbing back to the office and watched him immediately get down to work. He finished reading the document and signed it carefully. If there was anything he didn't understand, he would ask the secretary or department manager to explain it. I was happy and distressed. The mobile phone on the desk rang. It was a call from Mu Yuan. Bai Ningbing was still looking at the document in his hand. He reached out to take the phone and answered it. "Miss Luo, something bad has happened. Someone is digging Mr. Chen's grave." Bai Ningbing stood up from the chair in shock and anger. "Who is it? Control the person first." I'll be there soon. Bai Ningbing's face was extremely ugly. It was the first time I saw him like this. Along the way, Bai Ningbing drove the car at the fastest speed, even ignoring the red lights. When he arrived, most of my grave had been dug. The people who dug my grave were Liu Ruyan and Ji Boda. What are you doing? Bai Ningbing rushed over and she pushed Ji Boda away with all her strength, and looked at Ji Boda with eyes as if she wanted to tear him apart. Ji Boda didn't care and said, I'm glad you're here. Ruyan wanted to offer Fang Yuan's ashes in the temple, and I'm here to help him. Bai Ningbing turned and looked at Liu Ruyan in disbelief. It was you who asked for it. Why is he already dead, and you still won't let him go? Bingbing, don't get excited first. Liu Ruyan tried to comfort Bai Ningbing. Get out of here and don't touch me. Bai Ningbing shook off Liu Ruyan's hand with all her strength. Liu Ruyan pursed her lips, her eyes dim. Ji Boda sneered. It's Fang Yuan's grave that was disturbed. Why are you so excited? Ruyan is his ex-wife and she's not like you. You're not having an affair with Fang Yuan, are you? Bai Ningbing pointed at Ji Boda, and was so angry that she couldn't speak. Liu Ruyan's expression sank and Ji Boda. Don't get excited. Nonsense, Ruyan, I didn't say anything nonsense, Ji Boda argued. You are Fang Yuan's ex-wife, she kept saying she loved you. It's reasonable that you should be in charge of the company after her death, but now the company has fallen into the hands of your best friend. It would be strange if there is no trick between her and Fang Yuan. I stared at Ji Boda coldly. What a trick of making something out of nothing. He actually said it seriously. Shut up, Bai Ningbing slapped Ji Boda in the face. You dare to hit me? Ji Boda's face was ferocious. He raised his hand and slapped Bai Ningbing in the face. I was shocked and immediately stood in front of Bai Ningbing. Enough, Liu Ruyan grabbed Ji Boda. Bingbing. I'm not here to quarrel with you. I must take Fang Yuan's ashes away. He and I have been married for many years. I will find a temple to worship him well, as Bai Ningbing said coldly. I don't need to compensate for all the good things he has done to me over the years. Liu Ruyan, for the sake of our long-time friendship, should take Ji Boda away immediately, otherwise I will call the police. Also, you and Fang Yuan have divorced, and you have nothing to do with him now. You are Ji Boda's wife now. Please remember your identity and stay away from Fang Yuan. Ji Boda sneered. A night of marriage means 100 days of grace. Even though Ruyan has divorced Fang Yuan, their relationship is not something you, an outsider, can compare to. By the way, Fang Yuan's company belongs to Ruyan, and you are not qualified to be in charge. Only Ruyan can take over and be justified. Bai Ningbing was angry that you dug Fang Yuan's grave for his company, and the legacy he left behind. Ji Boda was proud that you were right. He stole my love back then and ruined my relationship with Ruyan. Happiness he owes our company, it is only natural for him to leave it to me and Ruyan. Bai Ningbing's face turned pale, looking at Liu Ruyan in disbelief. You think so too? Liu Ruyan frowned. She has no intention of snatching Fang Yuan's company from you. It's just that you don't have any management experience. Handing the company over to you will only make it worse. The company is Fang Yuan's hard work. He died. I will not allow the company to collapse. Bai Ningbing smiled bitterly, looking back at my tombstone. Fang Yuan, did you hear that? This is the woman you love to the bone. You just died, and he joined forces with outsiders to snatch the company you left behind. I originally promised you not to reveal the truth of the year. Now I have to break my promise because he is not worth it. I silently said a word. In order not to destroy Liu Ruyan and his parents' relationship, I chose to hide the truth of the past even if I died. Now it seems that I was wrong. He is not worthy. Liu Ruyan shouted excitedly, asking what the truth of the past was and what she knew. Bai Ningbing had no expression on her face. Didn't you always think that it was Fang Yuan who forced your parents to force you to marry him? But I tell you, it was your parents who took the initiative to ask Fang Yuan to act because they thought Ji Boda could not give you happiness. The people you said ruined your and Ji Boda's happiness were not Fang Yuan, but your parents. Liu Ruyan's face turned pale and she staggered back. It's impossible. How could my parents do this to me? You are lying. You must be lying to me. Bai Ningbing sneered. Do I need to lie to you? After saying that, Bai Ningbing stopped looking at Liu Ruyan and waved to the cemetery staff next to him. Refill my grave. Then he knelt in front of my tombstone. Fang Yuan, I didn't keep my promise with you. Can you forgive me? I gently stroked her face. I won't forgive you because I don't blame you at all, Miss Luo. The things you asked me to check have been found. Okay, I'll get it right away. I wondered what Bai Ningbing had someone check, and soon I got the answer. Bai Ningbing drove to a private detective agency. Miss Luo, this is what you asked me to check. I have to say this guy is quite good at playing. The private detective handed a stack of photos to Bai Ningbing. I followed Bai Ningbing's perspective and looked at them one by one. Shocking. All of them were Ji Boda's nude photos abroad. The heroines in the photos were black, white, and even there are two men. Bai Ningbing sneered. I knew he would not be honest abroad. I couldn't believe it, and I felt sorry for Liu Ruyan. He regarded Ji Boda as a perfect person, thinking about Ji Boda all the time, but Ji Boda actually played so much behind her back with these photos. I don't believe Liu Ruyan still loves him. Bai Ningbing's eyes were full of hatred. Fang Yuan returned to China because of him. Liu Ruyan will divorce you, and even grab the company you left behind. I will never let him have an easy time from the day he returned to China. I asked a detective to investigate him. I want him to be ruined. I looked at Bai Ningbing. My eyes gradually became gentle. He actually did so much in secret for me. If there is an afterlife, I will never let him down. I will follow. Bai Ningbing returned home and saw Liu Ruyan leaning against the door in a daze with lifeless eyes. When he saw Bai Ningbing, he seemed to come alive suddenly, rushed over and grabbed Bai Ningbing's hand. Bingbing, I was wrong. I'm sorry. It seems that he has learned the truth from his parents. Looking at his appearance, a trace of pity flashed in my eyes. After all, I once loved him. Bai Ningbing had a blank expression and struggled to break free from his hand. The person you should apologize to is not me, but Fang Yuan. Yes, I'm sorry, Fang Yuan. I have decided to divorce Ji Boda and go to Muyuan to work. I want to stay with Fang Yuan forever, and I want to atone for my sins. I can see that Liu Ruyan was sincere, but what's the use? I'm already dead. You should divorce Ji Boda. It was a mistake for you to fall in love with him. Look at this. Bai Ningbing handed the file bag with photos to Liu Ruyan. What is this? Liu Ruyan hesitated to open it. Her face turned pale in an instant. Bai Ningbing continued to hurt her heart. You look carefully, see what kind of person you have fallen in love with. Liu Ruyan collapsed and shouted, this is not true. It's not that I don't believe it. The facts are in front of me. If you still don't believe it, how long are you going to deceive yourself? Bai Ningbing pressed on step by step. For such a rotten person, you regard Fang Yuan as your enemy. He loves you so much. But you are not worthy of his love. Liu Ruyan covered her ears and screamed, grabbed the photos and ran away. Bai Ningbing exhaled. Fang Yuan, I treated Liu Ruyan like this. You may blame me, but I can't control myself. Looking at him, I just thinking of the scene where you vomited blood in front of me. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Don't say sorry. I know everything you did was for me. I have never blamed you. Silently said to Bai Ningbing. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Bai Ningbing received a call from the police, saying that Liu Ruyan and Ji Boda had a dispute and stabbed Ji Boda by mistake. Ji Boda died on the way to the hospital. Liu Ruyan asked to see him. Bai Ningbing was silent for a while and set off for the police station. I saw Liu Ruyan again. She was wearing blood-stained clothes, handcuffed on her hands, and her expression was very calm. Bingbing, you are here. Liu Ruyan smiled on her pale face. I don't want to spend the days before my death in the hospital. Liu Ruyan shook her head. I want to atone for Fang Yuan here. Bingbing, you said, if Fang Yuan knew what I did, would he forgive me? I don't know. The light in Liu Ruyan's eyes dimmed little by little, and she said to the policeman next to her, thank you for your help. I looked at his back as he was taken away by the police, and remembered my first meeting with him. The purple color slowly faded away in my heart. Coming out of the police station, Bai Ningbing looked up at the sky. The moonlight was charming tonight, and the soft moonlight sprinkled on her face, as if covering her with a veil. Fang Yuan, everything is over. Yes, it's over and it's time for me to go. I felt a beam of light shining on myself, and my body floated upwards uncontrollably. I stared at the increasingly blurred Bai Ningbing below. Thank you for appearing by my side in this life, and I will find you the first time in the next life and hold you in my hand. The end.